Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Pitch 2025. Feel free to make your way to your seats as we get started here. But my name, first of all, is Chayton Gearhart.
And I'm Lily Galkin. I'm a junior communication major with a track in organizational leadership.
And I'm a senior business management major and have had the blessing of being involved in various things here on campus, one of which being the co-founder and leader of Crown Chains, as well as some of the worship ministry teams being involved in electric guitar. So I'm pumped about this being the first time on this stage and actually getting the chance to hold a microphone. Pretty awesome.
I've also loved being able to serve here at Cedarville back in freshman year when I got to serve on class council, and now you'll find me behind the counter at Renova serving all your Valentine drinks.
Yeah, we are so excited that you're here, and we can't wait for you to experience these amazing pitches tonight. These students have worked long and hard to perfect their product for the judges, for the chance to win $1,000. Yeah, we do not only have some excellent presentations, but also some exciting business announcements involving the Plaster School of Business and Communication, and so you'll want to stick around to hear more about that later this evening.
But there's more. There's also a table out in Alumni Hall where we are doing a giveaway. So if you didn't enter in it before the show, you can go during the intermission and enter in the giveaway to win some prizes.
Right. And in order to win, you have to be present in this chapel, in this room. Our very own Aaron Perry, who's the founder of Ultralight Running, is giving away 6 hats as part of the drawing, so make sure you stay till the end of the show.
We would now like to get this rolling and introduce our first judge of the night. Our first judge is the president and co-founder of the International Center for Creativity in Columbus. Everyone, please give a warm welcome for Jim Stevenson.
This next judge is no stranger to Cedarville, and he's a friend and mentor to many past and current business students, including myself. He's the co-founder of Ideal Strategic Partners from the greater Tampa Bay area, and a 4-time pitch judge. Please welcome Scott Moffitt.
Now for our final judge of the night. She's a professional entrepreneur, operating system implementer, and the vice president of operations at Dawson with over 20 years of entrepreneurial leadership experience. Please welcome Becky Fromkeys. Welcome, judges, and thank you so much for being here with us tonight.
We would like to now take the time to introduce the first entrepreneur of the night. He's a junior economics major and assists in the development of small businesses with the Integrated Business Core here at Cedarville. Please welcome my dear friends Simon Thiessen and Philip Parker.
Well, good evening, everyone, and thank you, judges, for being here. My name is Philip, and this is my dashing partner, Simon. We are representatives of College Conquest. And before we get into our product, I would like to share with you 2 different academic stories. The first one is myself. I did the dual enrollment program here at Cedarville University and completed 12 college credits with the goal of saving myself a semester and time and money. I sadly did not reach those goals, and in order to, I would have had to spend much, much more and had to do much heavier credit loads. Now, if you compare that to the story of our customer, Chris, he has completed 30 college credits in high school and will not only be graduating high school early, but college as well. This has saved him tens of thousands of dollars and will potentially earn him hundreds of thousands as he will earn ahead of his peers. Now let's talk about why we created this company. The average cost at almost any university is about $27,000 a year, totaling $108,000 over those 4 years. This has led to almost half of U.S. adults claiming that financial burdens negatively impact their mental health, which affects their daily lives. And for college students, they are receiving less than the 7 hours of recommended sleep per night, which obviously lessens their ability to study and increases their risk of getting sick, as we've experienced here. And this has led to a mental battle that we all fight, as almost half of college students report symptoms of serious depression, and this has led to suicide being the second leading most cause of death in people of ages 20 to 30, which is most notably the years right after graduation. This is the difference our company can make. We can save people tens of thousands and give them happier lives.
Yeah, so our solution is College Conquest. We believe that with our program, our 6-step program, we can take high school students and prepare them and set them up to succeed going into college. Now, how we do that, and I want to walk you through our 6-step plan, is we focus on preemptive action. So we would take prospective student needs, these would be high school kids, and we would work with them and their parents to figure out their specific situations and their goals in mind. We would then take them through the 3 top-rated career placement tests. This would help us gather a little bit more intel about their personality and what careers might fit that personality moving forward. The second thing is we want to make sure we're doing all of this above board and legally, so we would work with the high school graduation requirements of each state. So depending on where the students may come from, this would vary from state to state to make sure that we're setting them up for success in that area. And the credit approach is really the meat and the sustenance of our program. We want to make sure they're taking as many college credits as possible in high school to maximize high school so that they're set up going into college. Basically, we just take all these things and compile a plan. That would be step 4. 5th step is we want to make sure this is actually financially feasible for our clients. We want this to actually have a return on investment and make sure that we're providing value to our clients. The follow-up stage is very important for our purposes. We want to make sure that we're walking them through the plan as they do this. So meetings with them before each semester, going from high school into college, is very important. We have also contracted with a financial planning firm, and they're going to be able to walk them through how to do taxes, 401ks, retirement, investment, and all those type of savings, so they're prepared going into the real world, as college doesn't really address those as much as we would like it to. Now, the goal of our company is to make college the best possible experience for our clientele. And how we do that is we want to save them a massive amount of time and money by getting rid and cutting off a few semesters they have to take at college. This could look like typically from 1 to 4 semesters, depending on the student. Now, by taking that off, we save them a ton of money and time, but we can also save them a lot of stress because we can lower the amount of credits they have to take each semester, which is highly correlated with stress. And ultimately, this will increase their overall level of happiness, which is really our goal. We love college, and we want to make it a great experience for them, and by getting rid of these issues that come up with the academic experience. Now, logistically, what this looks like is our total service fee is $4,000. This, of course, would vary and would be very customizable. It would depend on the student and their specific situation. We could also do payment plans or upfront payment. Product is a comprehensive educational service designed to help young adults build successful, meaningful, and purpose-driven lives. Where we want to market this is we believe that the homeschool community has the greatest need for this type of service. Public schools have a little bit of ability here, but we want to be able to hit the homeschool demographic. And we'd promote this through homeschool conventions as well as using online advertising and marketing. And we would build a website which would act as both a crucial part of our marketing and a functional part of our product. The website we're in the process of building, quite simple. They just make an account with us, follow the steps, and then we'd be able to do the rest and walk them through on how to build this actionable plan to help them succeed going into college. That is our main goal. We want our clients to be able to have the best college experience possible, and we ask that you would join us in that mission and vision. We're College Conquest, and we just thank you so much for your time.
I guess I'll go first. My first question for you, great job, by the way, both of you. I can tell you weren't reading, you weren't looking at anything, the eye contact, you delivered a great pitch very confidently, so excellent. I like it a lot. I think it's great. My biggest concern was what's your market, and then you addressed that toward the end about the homeschool market. Mm-hmm. My question for you is, who are you actually, very specifically, who are you marketing this to? Because I think I have an answer of what I believe, but I'm curious what your answer on that is.
So people like myself, I was homeschooled my entire life, and my parents thought that they could do the things that would get me to college prepared and ahead of schedule. But the reality of it is, the time that it takes to do that is too much for us to spend, and it's just not cost effective. So homeschoolers who go to co-ops specifically really tend to do this. My mom runs a co-op, and we see this all the time. So we know that this market is out there, and those in co-ops really strive to find success in college early on, even in high school.
I was going to ask one quick follow-up because I want the other judges to have time. So you're getting to where I was hoping you would go with the homeschools, but most high school students, aren't going to have $4,000 to give you. So the decision is, and the finances are going to be coming from their parents, which ultimately from the homeschool and your mom running that. So that's really kind of where I was going, is who are you actually selling the solution to? Yes, the student can go to the parent and say, we need this, but the decision maker is probably not going to be the student, I wouldn't think, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, no, the marketing would definitely target the parents, especially at those conventions, because those parents are going to those conventions with their student in mind. It's like the students often come with them, but it's more of how can we benefit our kids? Oh, I'm up. Sorry, I didn't notice. I'm on the screen. Anyways.
Great job. Yeah, I just have a question as it relates, and mine kind of is about the parents too. What kind of support are you going to be able to offer them walking them through this journey, right? Especially the homeschooled parents who maybe not, are working in the traditional setting of having counselors and things like that at their side. What does that look like?
Yeah, so the founder of our company, who isn't actually on the stage with us, but who's been working with us to create this, he's really passionate about making sure that we're staying in contact with these parents and walking them through the steps. So they would have complete availability to us. Like we would be, if they had questions, we would be following up with calls. We would be booking Zoom meetings with these people. Like this is like they're paying to have us be with them to walk through this. This could be a 4-year plan. This could be an 8-year plan. It really depends. If it's a freshman in high school, then we want to help them from that freshman year all the way to when they're graduating college and be with them walking through that. So we want to make sure that we're making a plan that's actionable, that they can do and know how to do, but we want to make sure that they have the resources like ourselves to be able to help them when they have questions and walk them through. So that would be, our role would be very crucial in that and just being there for these people.
So you brought up one other thing that I had just clarity around when is the best time, because you just kind of alluded to you would be on this journey with them for several years. So when would be the key time that they would engage these services?
So definitely for freshmen and sophomores in high school. Juniors would be great as well. Seniors we wouldn't be able to do quite as much for. So for those first 3 years of high school, we can do a lot in putting a lot of these CLEP courses, AP courses, and working through those type things. So that would be the target. Even people coming out of 8th grade, we could already start setting things up for. But that's where the plan would be the most crucial for these people.
Thank you.
Congratulations for stepping into this, and I want to say to all of the participants, this isn't about us. It's about you guys taking a chance and stepping forward into an arena and accepting criticism. So congratulations on taking that. I think you found a relevant category, right? There's a lot of dialogue about keeping costs where they are. I know Dr. Prigge is probably around here somewhere. He teaches the business model canvas. I would spend a little bit more time in your value proposition. Specifically, like why wouldn't I go to a financial planner just by myself? Or why wouldn't I call up a friend at church who happens to be a high school counselor? You have to demonstrate that expertise, I think. I loved hearing the two biggest blocks in the business model canvas that I love is the value proposition and the customer segment. Who is the who? And it answers the question, so what and who cares? So the so what is, hey, this is rampant. We have to do something about these costs. The who is you defined really, really well. So I think you did a great job there. I would love to see more of the how does it make you feel? This is a college navigation. You're navigating them alongside of them to get them through a stage, and that college is different than when your parents went. All right. So congratulations. I think you found a cool niche. Be the biggest fish in the smallest pond you can find, right? So just keep working on that value proposition, but great job.
Thank you so much. That's super helpful.
Thank you so much, judges, for your thoughts. And then thank you, Simon and Philip, for presenting. All right, for our second contestant tonight, Chayton, what?
Lily?
Your face. It looks a little pasty. What are you using to wash your face at night?
I'll take it as a compliment. Thanks. Okay, so I'll be honest. I use that one Dawn brand. I think it is the 13-in-1. It functions as shampoo, conditioner, toothpaste, WD-40, motor oil. That kind of thing.
Okay, no, Jane, no. Well, this is actually perfect because our second contestant is pitching a tool that could help you find the right skincare product to make you shine. Okay, so please welcome the junior marketing major, Alex Simons.
Think to the last time you purchased a product based on how it was marketed and it turned out to be a lie. My name is Alex Simons, and for years I struggled with acne. During this time, all I wanted to do was find products that would help my skin and live up to the claims they made, but I was lied to and I was misled. While I suffered from self-confidence issues and low self-esteem, so many other people experienced far worse emotional and physical challenges. In fact, over 80% of adults and teens suffer from some form of skin condition. And this leads me to this problem. The beauty industry is not regulated by the FDA, which allows for labels and marketing to deceive consumers and potentially harm them. But if this is news to you, you're not alone, since over 50% of men and women mistakenly believe that this industry is regulated. But what do I mean by this? Let's look at this product, and as we take a closer look, we see one of the claims that it makes. Right here, this product claims that it is non-comedogenic, and non-comedogenic means non-pore clogging or won't cause acne. I'm now going to show you a video at 2 times speed of what it takes to verify a claim like this. So in order to verify a claim like this, we are going to search up a product and then access the label information so that we can get the ingredients. And once we get those ingredients, we're going to copy and paste them into the first scanner. And then this scanner is going to flag items in this that cause acne. So right off the bat, we see 4 ingredients are flagged, and those ingredients are being flagged based on this list of non-comedogenic ingredients. So if those are in a product, it's going to be flagged for acne causing. And then there's 2 types of acne, so we have to scan again in a separate website. So we're going to paste that and then get a result. And again, we have ingredients here that are flagged. So there's 2 things I want you to know about this video. One, this product made a claim, but it failed the test. So that means it is not acne safe. And then second, this video represents in real time upwards of 5 minutes that it would take just one person to check one product for one skin concern. So if you wanted to check multiple products for multiple skin concerns, you would spend over an hour. But there's a more efficient way to find skincare and makeup that meets your needs. SkinSafe. SkinSafe is a barcode scanning app that analyzes ingredients based on skin concerns. So it's user-friendly and quick. We get you results at the click of a button, and it's convenient. You don't need to haul around your laptop with a bunch of websites, and you can do it on the go wherever you are. And then it's customizable. We recognize that different people have different skin types and different skin concerns, so we want to meet you where you are and give you the analysis that is relevant to you. The concept behind this app is using barcode scanning technology to access those label ingredients, and then the user is going to select what skin concern they want to scan for. Right here we have a sample of those skin concerns. So say you wanted to scan for sensitive skin, you would toggle that in the app, and then the result is going to give a filtered analysis based on that skin concern. So the scanner is going to flag ingredients that aren't safe for sensitive skin, and the result is going to tell whether that product is safe for your skin, and then also give a breakdown of the ingredients and how they're going to interact with your skin type. It is so important to us that all of our data is backed by dermatologists and medical research so that you can trust the analysis you're getting. So that's how we currently source our data and how we would source it in the future. And then this app is the first of its kind in the way that we analyze products. So we have protected our idea through blockchain technology with instant IP. And then SkinSafe is very much so set apart from the market because of its customizability. And then we also are doing analysis based on skin concerns. So rather than giving general information about products, we lock in on the information that is relevant to you. And then we also uncover the deception that comes with an unregulated industry so that you can test whether your products are going to live up to the claims that they make. And then our app is fully functioning without a subscription. So some other apps of this nature limit the amount of searches you can make or how you make those searches, but all of the basic functions of our app are free for all users. And then this app is for all skin types and all people. Our revenue model consists of in-app purchases, which is commission-based, so users will be given suggestions for products based on what they scan or what they search, and then those suggestions have direct links to Amazon where we earn a commission of that sale. And so for all the users who are going to be purchasing a product, we estimate that 90% of those users would just do it directly through our app. And then we also have a premium version. And the premium version gives access to articles and relevant information on how lifestyle plays a role in skin health. And then there's also a function where you can upload an image and have that image reviewed. And this allows SkinSafe to give you further guidance and then create customized regimens for you. Our profit margins are approximately 55% starting out. So for 5,000 users, we estimate $6,462 in net profit. But where are we getting these users from? These users come from the 80% of adults and teens who are suffering from a skin condition, and our entire demographic is estimated to be between 13 and 70 years old. And our largest age group is 15 to 22-year-olds because of the higher concentration of skin concerns in that demographic. Our strategy uses a personal approach because this is such a personal issue for so many people. So we want to meet you where you are in your journey and build credibility for our company. And so we would use for visibility Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook, and so we can build those connections with our market. And then who else is on these platforms? Other brands that we would want to partner with. And in partnering with these brands, we hope that would lead to additional marketing opportunities so that we can expand our reach. When I was at my lowest, I wish I had the resources to properly vet the skincare products I was being sold. It's something I want for myself, but so many other people need currently. SkinSafe is the product that sees through the deception of an unregulated industry and allows users to know what products are going to be best for them. Everyone deserves to keep their skin safe, and the truth is just below the surface.
Great job. Very well done. While this issue does not hit me personally, it hits somebody that I love dearly, very personally, that has a lot of really intense skin issues. So there was a lot of things that you were saying that I was like, I wish I could just deliver this product to her right now. My question is, in the skincare and beauty industry is just vast. There's so many products out there, and how can I be sure as a user of SkinSafe that you really have vetted all of the information and the data is actually there? Because I mean, it's a kind of an endless sea of information. So how does that, by scanning the barcode, how do I know for sure everything that I need to know to make sure that I'm using this product is safe and is going to meet my needs?
We try our best with how we've sourced our data to just access medically accepted lists of ingredients that cause skin concerns. So there's criteria lists for ingredients that would trigger like a negative result. And so by coding those into our apps, it's an input-output type relationship. And so we hope that just hope that our users would trust the analysis and trust the data. But also for users who maybe don't know like what their skincare needs are, like don't know where they're at, we would also have an option for them to like fill out like a questionnaire so that they can learn more about where they're at. And that just allows them to correctly like select what they want to scan for, and then they know that it can be more so relevant to them.
Okay, great. And then I have one other question about, the target market that you identified is a lot of people. So can you speak a little bit more specifically about targeting within that group of the market that you first initially talked about? I mean, how would you make a plan to get to the specific people that would have an interest in this?
So that is where the different apps that we're on for marketing come into play, because I think part of our older demographic wouldn't necessarily use TikTok. So I think using very relevant methods of marketing through specific apps like TikTok for the younger generation, maybe Facebook for the older generation, and then Instagram for kind of the individuals in between. That's kind of our current idea of how we would reach them. But then also the different demographics have different concerns. Like somebody in their 50s is probably not going to be struggling with acne, whereas somebody who's maybe in their teens probably will, and then wrinkles maybe are more so for the older generation, but not so much for a 15-year-old. And so that's kind of talking about different skin concerns on different platforms for different individuals is kind of like the current process for that.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
I'm going to echo what she said. You did a tremendous job.
Thank you.
You're very articulate, well-spoken. I've got a bunch of questions. I'm going to do a quick rapid fire for you. So is it actually developed?
No.
Okay, so it's idea concept.
Nope.
And then in terms of the backed by dermatologists, well, this is a suggestion. This has AI written all over it.
Okay.
You need to utilize AI for this because there's too many products and there's too many ingredients. And when you talk about ingredients, there could be a very minimal amount of something that wouldn't be enough. And so the amount of that ingredient also plays into it, not just whether or not that ingredient is in a substance. So that AI has written all over it. It could also customize it. So I love your concept. You talked about the revenue model. I think it's great. I would also recommend looking at a freemium model. So you have the free version, you get a bunch of downloads, and then the ads for your products that you're selling in-app, and people get tired of looking at them, they upgrade to premium, and you already have some other perks there too. So that will be, people don't want to look at ads, make them pay for it, and then give them some extra perks. The other last question I guess I have is, where are you getting the data for the products? All of them. She asked, but I wasn't sure if I got the answer that I was.
So right now we are using what is like public information, so medically like published lists. So in the first scanner you saw like that list of ingredients.
I'm sorry, products.
Oh, products?
Yes.
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
Yeah, where are you, like when you go to build your database of these products, these countless, endless products that are being developed every day, where are you finding all that information to be able to filter that into the app? I mean,
I think that comes from when we code products, we're just coding every single product because we don't know what users are going to scan. And so we have to have the information there. So that does add to the complexity of the
AI.
app. But yeah, currently that's kind of where we're at.
Thank you. Congratulations. If you ever suffered with confidence, nobody in here knew that. Thank you for using adversity as a motivator instead of a reason to pull back, and I love that. Thank you. That's gritty. That's great. I love the concept behind it. I would love to see you have a dermatologist approach to this. Dermatologists are looking for points of differentiation. I could see them, they're all having apps, they're all using My Chart, those sorts of things. I could see them buying it on behalf of their customers and recommending that their clients use them. So I would look at that wholesale, going through a dermatologist as well as having it broad-based. The rest of it I can't really speak to. I've never had great luck with apps, but I think you can because, again, it's a niche. You can be a big fish in a small pond. So cool targeting, great presentation, and I really appreciate your statistics. Usually people with great statistics win business because it gives you that credibility. So great job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Amazing job, Alex. Judges, thank you so much for being here today. I want to introduce myself. My name is Will Woods. I'm the president of Cedarville University Entrepreneurship. So I'm going to give you a little intro about what our student org does and why we actually have the pitch. But I want to start with this idea. if you want to go fast, build on your own. But if you want to go far, build together. And that is what we do here at Q. The idea that you should just build something on your own, I would argue, will fail. You need to have people who are like-minded, who have the same end goal, who have the same passions, who want to go far with you, who want to make an impact on the world together. And that's what we do at Q. We put together like-minded individuals, driven individuals in a community where we have the desire to use entrepreneurial activities and ideas to impact the world, to make a kingdom impact. Recently, Cedarville published in their magazine featured Kingdom Ventures. Cedarville is on fire for entrepreneurship, and I am on fire for entrepreneurship. The pitch puts that on display. Our goal with the pitch is to present these ideas, these kingdom venture, kingdom impact-minded ideas, to go out and change the world, to shine your light. And it is incredible to see this. It's incredible to see all of your faces out in the audience here supporting your fellow entrepreneurs, brothers and sisters in Christ, in their ventures for Christ. I don't think that ministry and business are separate. I don't think that they should be butting heads. I believe that ministry and business are one. You are able to do ministry. You are able to evangelize. You are able to impact and help others through the business work that you do, through the work that you do in the workplace. And that's what we try to promote here at Cedarville University Entrepreneurship. I want to thank you to the judges for coming out here on your own dime and dollar, willing to pour back into the students, who are willing to be up here on stage and take public criticism for the greater good, to make an impact with their ideas. It is so inspiring to see that. So I thank you all for coming tonight. My name is William Woods. Have a great night. Thank you.
Thanks, Will. We appreciate your words of wisdom there. So, this next group of entrepreneurs created their business idea in a Cedarville dorm room.
Because a boys' dorm room is the best place for ideas to happen, right?
Right. Yeah. The best ideas definitely seem to occur there. But since then, these four friends have written thousands of lines of code to create a truly unique product offering.
Give a warm welcome to Sebastian Toledo and the Cube Dojo team.
That is competitive Rubik's Cubing. Just under 250,000 people are currently registered in the World Cubing Association, or WCA, which is just a little less than the population of Springfield, Ohio, if you multiplied it 5 times over. Thousands of people are joining this competitive sphere every year, showing that Rubik's Cubing is not a dying or a dead activity, but a growing one. Official WCA tournaments are hosted around the world on a daily basis, with people flocking to pay up to $120 just to compete in these competitions. These people are passionate about what they love to do.
But they have a problem. Current training services charge over $30 an hour. They lack the ability to thoroughly analyze a client's strengths and weaknesses and only offer resources for normal 3x3 cubes.
That's where we come in. Cube Dojo, a central platform that provides AI-powered move-by-move feedback and training resources for all kinds of cubes, a concept that will be groundbreaking to the Rubik's Cube industry. Why Dojo, though? Because here, cubers will be able to train their efficiency, precision, and swiftness. Now, how do we plan to do this? Well, first, we developed a novel software system that produces understandable solutions instead of the inapplicable analytical data that current solvers spit out. Our software records the moves done by a user and deconstructs them, comparing them to the best moves that could have been done at each stage.
The good stuff, the bad stuff, and everything in between.
That's right. That's when generative AI takes over. It takes all of those strengths and weaknesses and composes a plan to minimize those specific weaknesses and maximize those specific strengths. And get this, when a user completes more solves, the website can take all of the solves a user has done, allowing the AI to point out systemic errors that would have otherwise remained hidden forever. Whether our users are seasoned vets or beginners, we can take them from where they are to where they want to go through not only providing feedback, but a digestible, individualized plan to get them better at any cube, including some of the unusual cube variants that some of you have there.
This fundamentally differs from our current competition. Some companies, such as GAN and QBeast, offer a base service of accuracy tracking, but lack many crucial elements. Our main competitor, Cubing.co, offers a variety of services, but lacks many fundamental features, such as move-by-move feedback, AI integration, and personalized training plans. We alone provide all of the resources that are vital for cubers who wish to excel.
But we are not a charity, despite our deep love for the cubing community. We plan to utilize a subscription model similar to chess.com, which does what we do just for chess. With a base subscription price of $5 a month, if we obtain just 1% of the global market, our gross annual revenue will be approximately $150,000. And yes, we do have a plan to secure this customer base.
GAN, one of the competitors mentioned earlier, has managed to obtain over a quarter of the cubing market with almost no marketing, proving that attaining just 1% of the market is certainly attainable for us, especially if we utilize marketing effectively. Our marketing plan focuses on leveraging the hubs our users predominantly use, namely social media and in-person tournaments. First, we plan on collaborating with top cubing influencers, giving them affiliate links to market our game-changing product to their respective audiences. Secondly, we plan to attend WCA tournaments, showcasing our revolutionary product directly to the consumer base.
But we know that internal vision for a company is just as important as an external plan. Our phase one, establishing a proprietary code base for our cube solver, has already been accomplished. Phase two, launching our website with a completely functional cube solver and AI integrated feedback, is set to arrive this upcoming December. And phase three, hosting online tournaments and adding variant cubes, is set to come by sometime in 2026. Now, as you can see up here, Sebastian and I aren't the only people that can make this happen. Our four-man team has not only the abilities, but the shared passion to make this business, this dream, a reality. So, now I ask you, are you ready to join us in taking this dojo to the skies?
Well, great job, guys. And, Sebastian, I saw that you're retired there. You're a retired competitive cuber, so that's where this came from, is your experience, and great. I like it. You know, at first I was concerned a lot with the size of market and how spread out it is. It remains a concern, frankly. But hearing you talk about some of your competition and what they've been able to do, I think it's nice. Do you have? You said you already have proof of concept. Talk to me about that proof of concept. Is it just an app in beta, or where are you?
So currently, we've developed the backend to our software, which is essentially a solver that can look at a cube and break down what is the best moves depending on a person's strengths and weaknesses, depending on their solving methodology, and depending on the cube and the event. And we're going to be working on the website this summer.
Thank you. I think a big market for this would be people who want to learn how to do this. And so what I would encourage, and I know you're talking about the benefits and you're talking to people who are already kind of engaged in this, like I've never actually attempted to solve a Rubik's Cube. Never, once in my life. I'd be interested in it, and if I tried to and I got frustrated, then I'd buy your software. But I think if there are benefits, obviously mental stimulation, I think you should pitch some of the benefits and look at this as something that's going to help people learn how to get better from starting at zero. I think building top of funnel and getting more people involved in Rubik's Cubes is your best go-to-market strategy, just from my opinion. So.
Thank you so much.
I am absolutely not your customer. I'm the kid that took the stickers off and moved them. Do I have any friends out there?
Hey, that's valid. That's valid.
Yeah. But what I love is that you've tapped into this insane thing. You know, like I look at runners, like whether it's 5Ks or marathons, and they're paying somebody to punish themselves, right? So what's so cool about this, when you talk about these tournaments, you found a niche in a niche. You found people that are really passionate about something. And I loved your tagline at the end, for cubers who wish to excel, right? That's good stuff right there. That's really good. Your model, I'm not sure 150K is, it sounds like a lot of money. It isn't. So you think you have to look at, I appreciate you underselling, saying 1% of the global market. But you got to get ambitious to make that number appetizing for somebody to say, sure, what's it going to take to get there, and can we get that back? So I love that. And you broke it down into the training. That was fantastic. You really did a nice job with your competitive set. Thank you for showing yourself compared to the other people, because I was sitting here thinking to myself, there's got to be other advice out there for this. I would have absolutely no idea where it is and what it does. But I almost want to pick this thing up and play with it now, which I would call a major success. So great pitch, guys. Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Well, I think it's safe to say we're 3 for 3 here on the intimidation factor. So I've already messed this one up, and I was like, I'm going to go ahead and put that down. I mean, to be quite honest, a lot of this felt like foreign language to me. I watch my children do this. They have different brains than I do, so I just think, well, they must know what they're doing. I have no idea. So a lot of, one of my first questions, you might have already said it, but can you use any cube? Like any, I can pick one out of the house right now. It doesn't matter, shape, size, color.
So currently right now, there's actually something out in the market called a Smart Cube, which is essentially a Rubik's Cube, but it actually connects via Bluetooth to any type of thing that connects to the internet.
Okay, thank you. So the Smart Cube is the only way would be the only way to engage right now? Is
correct.
Okay, got it, thank you. And then it's going to sound like an echo, but I do think that a top of funnel would be, you're going to have a lot more users, right? When you start talking about competitions and, tournaments and even these online communities, I mean, I had no idea that even existed. For me, I look at this and I'm intimidated. So if you told me Cube Dojo was going to help me learn even how to get step 1 and step 2, that to me is really appealing, and I'd get really excited about that, because when I see people doing this, I'm like, that's really cool. I wish I could do that. So, yeah.
Well, we'd love to turn you into a cube ninja like us.
Right, yes, yeah. Amazing presentation. I loved your passion. Thank you so much.
She asked a great question, just one last thing too, about the actual cube. So the thought also would be, if you could, a strategic partnership, build enough value with what you're doing to where when people buy that cube, the Smart Cube, they can have an option, or maybe you can do a kickback with the cube company and sell them together. That's another great idea, I think, at least.
Thank you, yes, absolutely. Thank you all.
Thank you guys, and thank you judges for sharing. We're now going to take a 10-minute intermission, so feel free to get up, stretch your legs. There are restrooms and bathrooms out in the back. And in a couple minutes, we're going to start an interview. We're going to bring up some past pitchers and student entrepreneurs and host a little interview and ask them a few questions.
That's right, and there will also be a chance for you to enter the giveaway for one final chance here in the Alumni Hall. That's where the table is, so feel free to make your way to the back to just give them your name and your email, and you can be entered to win that drawing. Remember that you have to be present in this room to receive the giveaway, so stay tuned after the announcement of the winner after the intermission. Thanks, guys.
this time, we'd like to invite Eve Wellner, Timmy Davis, and Daniel Ormsby to the stage for some entrepreneurial interviews. Give them a hand. Okay, Eve, we'll start with you. Just give us a little rundown about your business and how it got started.
Yeah, so I own Eve's Original Sin Cookies. I started in high school, and it's basically a create your own cookie experience. So you get to create your own flavor profile for the cookie. So you get to pick the dough and whatever mix-ins you would want. And so I've been working on that all throughout college, and it's really grown a lot at Cedarville, and I just enjoy it so much.
Awesome, thank you.
Daniel, you are most definitely one of the smartest people I think I've ever met, and I'm blessed to call you a friend, brother. So we've had the chance to collaborate a little bit with your company, Nutrifuel Bioworks, and since your time on the pitch last year, what has been your main focus, and how has your business evolved since then?
Yeah, well, thank you for that compliment, first off, Chayton. And yeah, the biggest thing with my company that I've been working on is really just taking an index and an audit of the industry and then what opportunities are available in it. So I've been kind of interviewing people and getting their perspectives on various things. Interviewed a CEO who has a project in Hawaii, interviewed people from India, Hong Kong, Scotland, all sorts of places. And it's been just super fun to kind of get their perspective. I've interviewed CEOs, project managers, all sorts of things. And it's kind of consistently, the problem is there's just there's more problems than there is to execute. And so trying to really nail down on what is the most profitable things to execute on and going from there.
Yeah, that makes complete sense. And okay, so if you could give us a couple more things here. One thing we're interested in, he won the pitch back last year. He won $1,000. How did you use that money to better invest into your business and then create growth from that?
Yeah, so I spent the money on a conference in San Jose, California. It's the largest synthetic biology conference in the world. And through that, I hope to kind of leverage that to network with more people. Again, people represent opportunities, and opportunities can be worth millions, if not tens of millions of dollars. And in my industry, tens of $millions is a rather small fish, so.
Amazing. Yeah, thanks for all the info there. That's awesome. Moving over to Timmy. Timmy, please give us everyone a quick update on how your business is doing since your experience on the pitch last year, and go ahead and just give us a quick overview of your business.
Okay. So the Lenora breast pillow, in order to kind of explain what it is, I always have to start with like the backstory of how it was created. So 5 years ago, my mom underwent a medically necessary breast surgery, and it was followed up by her doctor telling her that for 2 to 3 months, she was to only sleep on her back, so she couldn't sleep on her stomach or side. And within those 2 to 3 months is when we created the Lenora breast pillow, which is a pillow that enables women to sleep on their stomach and side in the immediate days after breast surgery. So yeah, that's kind of the quick overview of what the product is. And then you said like updates on the
just
company.
updates since your time on the pitch last year.
Okay, yeah. So one really cool opportunity I got from here actually was I kind of took the pitch and the money that we got directly to the GABA, which is a German-American business accelerator, and they help German kind of like small and mid-sized businesses scale globally. So I got the chance to go to South Korea for that, for a market discovery program. So that was awesome, like a really good opportunity, and I could practice my pitch more there. So it was,
yeah, thanks for making a sweet product that is also aiding those who are in very vulnerable position of their life, and when they're experiencing cancer, it's really commendable.
Eve, one last question for you. Since your inventory is perishable, how do you work with that? How do you manage that? And then how do you keep up with your sales?
So I keep a spreadsheet of all the ingredients that I have at my commercial kitchen that I use. So that really helps me to understand how many cookies can I make with this. And I've also just done a cost breakdown of what my cookies take to make them delicious. And then my sales, I just, I would say for tabling, it's a little bit tricky, like what I was doing tonight, because if I don't sell enough, then I would lose money. But I usually, it's a guessing game, so it's a little tricky.
That makes sense. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, moving over to Daniel a bit more. Can you just give a little bit of an overview, kind of what we've even talked about just the implications of renewable energy and how you're approaching a problem that isn't even something that is necessarily solved by scientists right now?
Yeah, so the renewable energy question is really driven by kind of two things. One is the climate change crisis, and two is kind of the availability of energy. And so what we're really driving at is some people are motivated by sustainability or kind of being a good person, we'll say. And then a lot of more people, though, are motivated by saving money or creating opportunity. And so we're really trying to tap into renewable energy as a way to meet increased energy demand, which, if you are familiar with the Stargate project, it's a $500 million investment project in AI data centers sponsored by Donald Trump and a big private equity company out of Taiwan, I think, maybe. I could be wrong about that. But anyways, that project is trying to address the need for AI through data centers, but those data centers by themselves will consume more energy than the metropolitan area of New York City per day. And so that is an incredible energy need, and so we're trying to tap into kind of non-traditional sources such as renewable energy to meet that need.
Excellent. Yeah. Thanks for your thoughts there. Moving finally over here to me. One final question we have for you is, how are you approaching right now creating, especially in the past, what was this most significant challenge that you experienced in trying to develop a product that you've created from scratch? It just seems like quite a difficult thing to figure out the materials, where to source them from. How have you approached the development of your product?
Well, I mean, there's been a lot of steps, like kind of mostly all the entrepreneurs face, like just got to keep working through like the unknown kind of, but it's definitely one of the hardest processes was probably finding a valid manufacturer that would actually deliver the quality that we would want. So we ended up finding one in Germany, which is pretty convenient too. So yeah, that's been probably the biggest challenge. And then just facing challenges here and there. We most recently got into Amazon and other huge retailer in Germany. So that was a huge challenge too, especially for a humble team of 3, like just my mom, my brother, and I. So yeah. That's
Great. Yeah. Thank you. Let's give these interviewees a round of applause. We'll get started shortly here, so hang tight for the next couple minutes, and we'll be back very soon. Welcome back, everyone. I want to take this time. Let's congratulate the last 3 pitches so far. They've been killing it, haven't they? All right, are we ready for the rest of the pitches and the announcement of the winner later on? I don't know about you guys. I definitely am. It's going to be great.
All right, if you're in here and you have a job, or you want a job, or you're looking into getting a job, raise your hand. Okay, like everyone's hands should be up, and that's perfect because Annie has a really, really awesome product for you. She has something that could bring energy, excitement, and a lot of vibrancy to your office space. So everyone, please give a warm welcome for Annie Alexander.
Imagine you land your dream job. It's everything you've wanted. The perfect role, great pay, an impressive building. And when you get there on your first day, you're so excited. And you walk in, and it's silent. Everyone's eyes are glued on their screens. No one's talking to each other. And the only interaction you see between coworkers is just a simple head nod in the hallway. I don't know about you, but this is when I realized this is not what I was dreaming of. I've learned a valuable lesson through internships and jobs in the past that the people you work with make a huge difference. They are the difference between loving what you do and showing up to work and hating getting out of bed in the morning. It is a privilege and a blessing to call your coworkers friends. And 60% of employees agree and say that their biggest reason for job happiness is their coworkers. It's not what they're doing, where they're working, but the people they get to work with. And this is because they get to show up to an environment full of collaboration, laughter, shared victories, and that's somewhere that's inspiring and motivating. It helps you show up and perform your best. But this isn't the case for everyone. Over 62% of employees resonate with one of these. They're disengaged, disconnected, or discouraged at work. And so this makes it really difficult to show up and to do your best work. So this is harmful not only for the employee, but for the company, because they're not getting the success out of a fully functioning employee, and the employee is also struggling to feel their best as well. I go into the workforce in a few short months, and so I'm determined to find a way that any company can improve their work culture, whether they have great culture or have lots of room for improvement. Now, the first step that people do to improve their work culture is they usually gravitate towards one of these things. A little golf mat or a thing on your cubicle, which is fun. It invites in a welcoming vibe in the office and kind of lightens the mood. But once you have these things, there's nothing new and exciting. So I've created Breakroom Boosters, your go-to brand for office games. This is a way that you can collaborate and build relationship with your coworkers, because going from strangers to friends doesn't happen overnight. Now, we're going to offer a bunch of different game ideas that you can use in your office, whether as a meeting icebreaker or something to add to a happy hour, a fun activity. And so we're going to have this plethora of different things. You can do group activities or social games. And this will just help the culture of your business a little bit at a time. Many companies today have a committee, such as a fun committee, or people in charge of designing group activities to bond the teams together, but everything that they are doing is DIY, do it yourself. They can look up office games and Google things such as that, and what comes up are blog posts and things that leave them to have the time and effort to pour into that. So Breakroom Boosters is here to alleviate that time and effort and take on that creativity challenge. We're going to be starting by launching one product at a time, and our first launch is Bucket Bounce. This is a game where you try to see how many consecutive bounces with a ball that you can get into the bucket. There's a QR code on the back of the bucket where you will be able to scan and see different varieties of gameplay. So you can do this solely, with a team, or against different teams of coworkers, many different ways, and so it helps spice things up a bit. We will be launching this at a price of $24.99, which is derived from the average entry-level hourly base pay for an office worker, so that they can focus on what they're good at instead of thinking of fun games to play. This will leave us with a profit of $17 roughly, and healthy margins of 68% that we can circle back into launching new products. Now we'll be marketing through TikTok if it stays around, but primarily through LinkedIn, because our target customer is the business professional. And so this is going to be a great platform for us to get this new idea out there and tell people that there's actually a brand that you can go to buy these games and not have to do it yourself. So what's next for Breakroom Boosters? We want to continue to develop and produce our products, but first, behind the scenes, we want to finish building a website to establish that strong online presence, get onto Amazon so we have that channel of distribution, and lastly, a crazy dream would be to get into Staples, the office superstores, which would solidify our vision of being an office-branded game. So thank you so much, and if you're on a mission like me to make your coworkers your friends, Breakroom Boosters is the great way to take that first step. Thank you.
Great job, Annie.
Thank you.
Great to see you on stage again. You've helped with the pitch before, and this time you're a contestant. So I like the concept a lot. Company culture is huge, and you're right. I mean, I've seen the putting greens, and I've seen the arcade games, and they give that fun vibe, but they're not as interactive. Not sure I agree with well, let me actually clarify. When you say your target audience is the business professional, can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, so if you're like myself, who's going into a job, this is the perfect gift to get the office. So you don't have to get everyone in the office something, you can just get the office something. If you're on that committee, the fun committee, if you will, this is a perfect thing to get for a group activity. So, and if you're not on one of those things and you're just simply maybe a partner at the firm or a manager, this is something you could just send their way.
So my suggestion would be to focus HR and look at the wellness programs, because they're always looking for ways to collaborate, interact. I would also look at the subscription model. I do like that you're starting with one product.
Yeah.
You showed your roadmap, but then you focus on one. You can't get to the forest without hitting the tree first.
Yes.
So I like that you focused on the one product, but if you do the subscription model and you sell into the wellness program, call it $49.99, a couple $100 a month, because then you're selling multiple units, and it's subscription, and the valuation for a single product sale versus a recurring MRR, ARR, it's like 1.5x on average for a single product and 17 to 20 on recurring revenue. So if you actually start working with the wellness programs and you start working and get in there, and you have a new game, keep something fresh, and you're building that culture, your relationship's going to grow, and that would just be my advice.
Yeah, no, that's definitely our long-term goal, to have that subscription, and each month they get new games to play and look forward to, and maybe even compete against other companies as a networking tool. But.
Okay, so one of my first questions would be, have you thought about the virtually engaged workforce? Because that's obviously a big part of how people are working these days.
Yes, and these games are obviously a way to be incentives to come into work, to get to know your professionals that you're working with better and your colleagues. However, we do have games more like the social games that would be targeted towards everyone who's on Zoom or in the office. So.
Okay, great. And then one thing, I like the idea of going through HR, but when you said gifts, it sort of made me think about the companies that exist out there, marketing companies, if you will, that are putting company logos on everything and helping, like the gifting space, and everybody has the cup, the pen, the portfolio. I've never seen a marketing company offer some sort of an office game, which would be an incredible gift, right? Something really fun and memorable. So that might be an idea to run with as well.
Yeah, that's really helpful.
Yeah, great job.
Thank you.
Annie, I wish you would have been in some of the offices that I've worked in. It would have been a lot more fun. This is a great brand fit for your personality. No big surprise that you would want to bring fun to the workplace. I love products that you don't have to build anything. You're just repackaging existing stuff so that can keep your sourcing costs low. You're just putting it together for them. I think that's a great idea. You had some good statistics behind it. I love that. I think it's smart to look at LinkedIn and HR professionals as well. That made a ton of sense. I think you have maybe a bigger idea than you think you do, because there's the workplace, but there's also churches, and there's also camps, and there's also RVs. There's all these things where people just don't want to do the work, and if it's prepackaged and it's convenient and it's popular, but I love the online play component, right? You can challenge the next office over or the other department to a set of games. I think that's really, really smart. So lots of fun. But again, when you were saying about getting your dream job and showing up and being disappointed, I actually had that happen, and it was devastating, right? I just showed up and went, wow, this is not what I wanted, but we changed it, right? It got better. But yeah, so you're singing to an experience that I had. So I think it's fun. I think you have a lot of different potential on it. I don't love the name, but I'm not going to tell you to get away from it. If you love it, you love it. Go for it. But it's a cool little concept. So great job presenting too. You have such a warm and endearing personality.
Thank you.
Yeah, I want to listen to you. Right?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Well, I'm super excited about all these young entrepreneurs and how they're going to have more Christians in the marketplace soon after they take their products to the next level. But we're all about in Cedarville helping our students, whatever their discipline is, to be in the marketplace on mission for God, whether they're nurses, educators, etc. But we got a lot of alumni, we got a lot of parents. We want to put more Christians in positions of leadership across the industries. And in the School of Business, I'm Jeff Heyman, the Dean of the Plaster School of Business. Last year, we had our first ever Impact Conference last fall, and we're going to have another one this year. And it's all about equipping Christians for marketplace leadership. We've got the dates on the screen, so I hope you're interested out there to how you can be more effective on mission in the marketplace. And our first keynote speaker, for those that are familiar with that ongoing conflict that we have in the culture, Jack Phillips, the baker from Colorado, how he has stood up to some of the pressures and tried to stay faithful to his God in that situation. He's going to be one of our inspirational speakers at the keynote.
Jim, tell us about this new major we have.
I'd love to. This is dream come true time in a lot of ways. If a lot of you don't know who I am because I'm not part of the Plaster School of Business, I'm just kind of like a cousin. And they've allowed me to come to their meetings, and I appreciate that. Adopted, thank you so much. In industrial and innovative design, industrial designers are over 3 times more likely to become entrepreneurs. So we've been passionate about teaching entrepreneurship for a long time. But it was so great getting to sit down and socialize with Dr. Heyman, and he said, wait a second, how can we do more of this in the Plaster School of Business? And we've been partnering to develop those not only in the MBA concentration, which is currently running 100% online, but we also have the Masters of Innovation. And I appreciate Dr. Delano and all the support that comes through those. But we've got some great news coming up, because the one missing component was having an undergrad experience that could be a business major that also declared a major in entrepreneurship and innovation. But stay tuned, because there's been years of work and dreaming and scheming into making this happen, where it is a major, and Cedarville will be at the front of the pack in offering this to the marketplace. People that are trained specifically to think differently and solve problems and do it from a Christian worldview. So I want to thank these guys for letting me come to their meetings and hang out with them. Business school people are pretty cool. You guys are good.
Awesome. All right. Did you guys hear that? We're going to have a bachelor's in entrepreneurship. Come on. Come on. And innovation. All right. So how many of you have gone to Q Camp? Anybody? I know we got a few in the crowd. Yes, come on. So Q Camp would be for probably your brothers and sisters or cousins. But Q Camp, June 3rd through the 6th, love to have you there. It's this, but 3 days of it. And we have a fantastic speaker named Tunji. Come on. Tunji's fantastic. Oh, yeah. And then lastly, I want these people to just come right up. Come on. I know you're embarrassed, but come on up. Come on up. Let's give these people a tremendous, tremendous hand. As they're coming up on stage, I got to tell you, folks, they've invested literally over 100 hours in this evening, and they have had 7 a.m. meetings, and you have started doing all kinds of work. I'm just so proud of you, and this is truly why we're here tonight, because of their effort, and they are volunteers, and anything that you see tonight that was special is because of them. So let's give them a big round of applause. All right, thank you, thank you. All right, you guys can have a seat. I think we have one more pitch coming, and I will let the fantastic MCs. I gotta say, man, I'm jealous of your hair. You got any to share here? Come on.
I guess it's the Dove 13-in-1, right?
You know what? I get ads all the time for hair growth. I think I'm in some algorithm on Instagram. It's really frustrating me. I feel bad every time.
Thank you, Dr. Overrunner and Dr. Heyman and Jim. Appreciate your guys' wisdom and also just those thoughts on the Impact Conference. I had the blessing of being a part of it a couple months ago. It was encouraging, helpful, inspiring. It was a really great time. So feel free to be looking out for the sign-up time for that. Lily, I think we have another.
We have our final contestant of the night, and it's got to be pretty scary to come up here and present to the judges and present to a whole crowd. But imagine doing that your very first year here at Cedarville.
Oh my goodness, I can't even comprehend. That would terrify me. So with that being said, let's give a warm welcome to freshman management major Garrett Ryder.
Hello, everyone. I'm guessing that nearly everyone here has played board games. That's because board games offers an amazing opportunity to interact with family and friends, challenge your mind, and have healthy competition. For many of you, your favorite memories are playing games around the table with family and friends. The board game industry plays an important role in the entertainment market and has grown to become a $14.4 billion industry. Despite technology's growth in the entertainment market, the board game industry is estimated to grow to become a $26 billion industry by 2030, almost doubling what it is now. And in the board game industry, there are 3 main genres of games: party, legacy, and strategy games. Strategy games, and more specifically, strategy war games, are the fastest growing of the 3. However, as I was playing these games over the years, I found that there wasn't a good balance between empire development, war, and playtime. For example, the classic game of Risk is a strategy war game that doesn't have any empire development and can take 1 to 8 hours to play. The game Scythe has empire development and can take 1.5 to 2 hours to play, but has little to no war in any given game. Twilight Imperium has empire development as well, but again, has little to no war in any given game and can take 8 hours or more to play. That's a long time. Over the past couple years, I've worked on creating a game called Kings of Gold, which I've set before you, that offers that perfect balance. In the game, you develop your empire, make war with your neighbors, and work towards several smaller goals to become the wealthiest empire in the land. Unlike many other strategy war games, Kings of Gold encourages war and uses it to bring balance to the game. Winning battles can turn the tide in a game, causing the wealthiest empire to fall back with everyone else, or even fall behind. The more your empire grows, the more of a target you become for other players. After all, who would want to rob a poor man when you can rob someone else rolling in dough? Throughout the game, you have to carefully choose how to use your resources to outdo your opponents. And in the game, it's separated into 3 stages with 3 rounds in each stage. The game takes 2 to 2.5 hours to play, which gives players enough time to get into the game and develop your strategy to win without taking the entire day. To get into the board game industry, after making a few more revisions, I plan on using instant IP to protect my intellectual property. Then I can use a company called Kickstarter to begin selling the game on my own. Kickstarter will enable me to find customers dedicated to buying the game before ever putting money into the manufacturing. Once I have the customers, I can then begin mass producing the game, which lowers the manufacturing costs with a guarantee that every game will be sold. As I gain more traction and attention, I hope to get the game published. Marketing the game will also come much easier than many other products. I will be able to market directly to my target audience through the massive board game industry. There is entire social media platforms and forums, such as Board Game Geek, dedicated to people who love board games and are always looking for new ones to try. There's also board game conventions, cafes, shops, and board game orgs dedicated to people who love board games and are looking for new ones to try, and I'll be able to market directly to them. As for financials, games with similar characteristics, complexity, and component quality are worth anywhere between $60 and $100. I plan on selling Kings of Gold in between at around $75. The cost of manufacturing will be between $30 and $40, leaving $30 to $50 for shipping, other expenses, and profit. Although there are many games out there, Kings of Gold has a unique place in the growing industry with great potential to get into it and a safe way to get there. Thank you.
Great job. First of all, as a freshman, I mean, they said it, and I'll echo it. Which, I mean, it takes guts to get up there and do what you just did. So great job. First question I have: where does that data from? When you went from 14 to 26 million, that kind of blew me away. I thought we'd be going the other direction, frankly.
That came from Fortune Business Insights.
Okay, that's interesting.
I looked at several other sources as well, and they came with around the same one. I think I actually pulled one that pulled a lower estimate. There was other ones that came higher.
So I like board games because they bring people together. We've actually looked at, with my company, we've looked at a couple of those projects. I'm not sure where your cogs are coming from. Just looking at the picture and looking at some of the products there, I mean, unless there's a material there that I'm unaware of that's very, very expensive, I can't imagine you spending more than $10 if you source it correctly to make this product. And then, so I would just encourage you to not go based on kind of your assumptions. I would encourage you to test the market and see what people are willing to pay for it and try to get broad market elasticity out of the gate. That way you can get the brand out there, because that market, I'm sure, is made up of a ton of different games. I don't know how many, but so I feel like gaining market share might be one of the challenges. And the last thing is, how familiar are you with Kickstarter?
Not extremely familiar, but I've done a little research into how it works and the process of going through it.
Yeah, crowdfunding. Yeah, it's not what it was 5 to 7 years ago. Unfortunately, a lot of people did campaigns on some of the crowdfunding sites, didn't deliver on the products, so a lot of people got burned. So it's not as attractive as an option to raise capital as it used to be, and it does take quite a bit of capital to be able to market to get people to those sites. So even though you're not paying the manufacturing, you have to just understand how much it's going to cost you to acquire your customer to be able to pre-order on Kickstarter. But I love the board game. I think bringing people together, getting people off screens, and I think you did a great job.
Thank you.
So a quick question about the growth in this market, and you hit on it a little bit, but do you know why so much growth? Why is that happening? Because again, I would have assumed the same thing, we're going the other way. So what is prompting this jump?
I believe some of the reasons are because A, there's been a lot of advancement in the board game industry and how they're created. I think there's also because people realize that technology and video games, that kind of entertainment, it doesn't get you the same thing as board games. The interaction between family and friends, the competition, the healthier competition, and the way you grow relationships through it.
Okay, great, and I love that, and I think that could be a really great selling point for you. It was interesting to see the amount of time, right? So everything, it seems these days, our attention spans have gotten shorter. We're spending less time basically doing anything. So really honing in on that, I think, would be a great selling point. Coming from a family that spends way too much time playing hours and hours of Monopoly, this is something that we do. It's great, but it does get cumbersome for how much time you can stay. So I love the idea of you honing in on, hey, I have this great strategy game, and it can bring you together, but it's not going to take this long stretch. So I think that's wonderful. I would agree with the price point being pretty unattractive, because I have kids at home, and if I saw a board game for $75, I'm like, that's probably a pair of shoes or something else that we're going to spend that money on. I would want a much lower price point. So that's something I would want to watch out for too.
Okay.
Great job.
Thank you.
Great job.
Hey, thanks for doing this again, to all the contestants and stepping in and doing this. We've had a lot of board games go through the Center for Creativity, because industrial designers love to make these things. They like to design them, they like to build them. I'd love to offer you, if you want to continue to do this, to come up and spend some time on art direction, on the appearance of the game, the packaging of the game, to find some points of differentiation. Might even be able to find you some ways to get to market. Is the 2.5 hours, is that a target gameplay, or how much game simulation have you done, and is that holding true?
I've played the game quite a bit, and throughout the time, it's taken about 2.5 hours. The 2-hour mark is going to be if you're more focused in on the game.
Gotcha.
If you're having just a great time with people and taking it slower, it's going to take longer. But it's the estimates if you're more intentional with it.
Yeah, I would highly recommend we have a little bit of a benefit because we're sitting in Columbus, and they do have all of these social clubs and board game meetups and all those things where we've been able to go out and do simulated gameplay. You have to do it with people that don't know you or don't like you, and will give you critical feedback and tell you, this is dumb, look at this, I broke this, and wait a minute, this didn't work the way it said it would. That is really important feedback for you to be able to get simulated gameplay. Because otherwise you'll end up with that first launch with people that have found themselves in a dead end, or some aspect of it. So I like these because they're packageable, they're easy to ship, they're not terribly expensive to produce. So I think the game industry has, part of the reason it blew up was COVID. Accelerated it quite a bit because people were stuck at home, and jigsaw puzzles were popular, as were board games. But what I would say is that I think it needs, for that price point, you need some additional art direction, packaging, game pieces, etc., to be able to extend the game. But great job. I like the concept.
Thank you.
Thank you, Garrett. We made it through our 5 contestants of the night. Let's give them a round of applause one last time. And thank you, judges, for taking the time and asking questions and giving feedback. It's now time to figure out the winner. So if you want to exit the stage to the right, out those back doors, to determine the winner.
Awesome. And while they're backstage deliberating over the winner, we're going to take this time to find out who will win the giveaway prizes. So with that being said, feel free to take a look under your seats right now. No, I'm totally kidding. It is a drawing. It's not by that. Don't worry. So with that being said, let's have Allie and everyone here with the drawing. So Lily, if you want to go ahead and grab the first name out of the tote. The first 2 winners will be the people who have the tote with the Cedarville blanket, and then we'll go on with the 6 hats after that.
All right, for our first winner of the night, we have Alexis Donnan. Come down to the front, Alexis.
And for our second winner, we have Olivia Jones. Olivia Jones, come on down to the front.
All right, now we're getting into the hats. For our third giveaway, we have Ella Bodie. Where are you, Ella? Let's go. Woo, come on down to the front.
The next winner is Lydia Crail. Lydia Crail, come grab your free hat.
All right, for our next one, we have Olivia Jones. Come on down to the front, Olivia.
All right, next winner of one of the hats is Allison Delp. Allison Delp, come to the front of the stage.
And we have Ashley Thinnell. Where are you, Ashley? Come on down to the front.
All right, wow, quite the origami thing going on here. And you guys can definitely tell it's totally random. It is genuinely my name.
This is rigged. Totally. All right, let's get another one.
That being said, we'll draw one more.
I'll read it this time.
As much as I would love the hat.
All right. Jake Carter, come on down to the front, Jake. Is that our last one? Is that our last one?
All right, congratulations to our winners. At this time, we are now going to have Dr. Smith come up and talk about the ways in which the pitch serves not only us and the entrepreneurs on the stage, as well as the judges, but also is an act of service to the Lord. So let's welcome Dr. Smith, my advisor, to the stage.
Well, thanks for coming out tonight. I've been up here before talking to you about this idea that God, the God of the universe, is the ultimate entrepreneur. Because what do entrepreneurs do? They offer solutions for problems. And God offers the solutions for our biggest problems. A lot of our contestants tonight, if they move forward with their pitch ideas, they're going to need to do some market testing. There's sort of a classic case in business of some market testing that a little company in Cincinnati called Procter & Gamble did back in the 90s. They wanted to develop a product that people could squirt to kill the germs in their home that caused bad odors. And so after a couple of years of development, they came up with a product you may have heard of called Febreze. So they went out to Phoenix, Arizona to do some market testing. They contacted some customers who allowed them to visit their homes. And they arrived at the first home where 2 heavy smokers lived. They knocked on the door. The people graciously invited them in. The smoke was so thick, some of the researchers thought they were going to get lung cancer on the spot. And they asked the occupants, they said, how do you deal with the smoke in your house? And they're like, oh, it's not really that bad. They then went to another house, knocked on the door. They had prearranged to come. The lady invited them into her living room. She had a cat. I should say cats. She had 9 cats. The odor was so wretched, one of the interviewers was fighting back gags. They asked the lady, how do you deal with your cat odors? She said, oh, my cats don't really smell. See, she had become desensitized to the odor, and the smokers had become desensitized to the smoke. We as humans tend to do that. My wife was listening to a DJ the other day, and he commented that in America now we've really lost any sense of right and wrong because nothing's wrong and everything's okay. We've been desensitized to right and wrong and to wrongdoing. But fortunately, God cares enough about us to give us a litmus test of right and wrong. It's called the Ten Commandments. We used to hang it in schools back in the day. But let me just give you a little test. Have you ever told a lie? Have you ever taken anything that's not yours? Have you ever failed to honor your parents? Have you ever put anybody or anything ahead of God? If you answered yes to any of those questions, like I did, you've broken 4 of the 10 commandments. But we're sort of desensitized to that now as human beings. You know, as a society now, we call for justice a lot, social justice, other sorts of justice. And when there's not justice, we feel betrayed. About 30 years ago, there was a little trial out in California you may have heard of a guy named O.J. Simpson. And despite a lot of evidence, there was a lot of evidence that he killed a man and his former wife. But the jury found him innocent. And a lot of people were very offended by that. They're like, somebody should pay. Justice needs to be served. Because wrongdoing deserves to be dealt with. Well, God tells us in the Bible, he says all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God. I think I demonstrated a few minutes ago when you and I were violating the 10 Commandments. But God has a just God, and he points out that there's a payment, a penalty for that sin. He says the wages of sin is death, and that death means separation from God because God is holy. He is not desensitized to our cat odors, if you would. He's very attuned to them, and he's a God of justice. You might say, well, I thought he was a God of love. Why would he punish anyone? God is a God of love, but that's not his only attribute. I am tall, but that's not my only attribute. God is a God of love and a God of justice. And so, as the ultimate entrepreneur, he provided the solution to our sin problem and the punishment we deserved. A person called God the Son, who we know as Jesus Christ, came to this earth and lived a perfect life. But we as humans turned on him, and we had him nailed to a cross. That was part of God's plan because on that cross, Jesus paid that penalty. He paid that death that you and I owe to a just God. The Bible says God demonstrated his love. He showed his love for us. And that while we were sinners, Christ died for us. Jesus on that cross was dying for we rebels and our odors, if you would. So how do we get that forgiveness? Just because he died doesn't mean we automatically get that pardon. It requires a response. And it can be summarized as the ABCs. A, we have to admit we're sinners. B, believe that Jesus Christ died in our place to pay the penalty that we deserve. And C, call out to him, confess our sin, ask for his forgiveness, and commit our lives to him. Folks, I know that sounds very simple, and it is simple, but it's not easy. It's not easy because it cost Jesus Christ his life in an excruciating, painful way. It's also not easy because we as humans don't like to admit that we're sinful. We become desensitized to it. Our cats don't smell. We also are hesitant to believe Jesus died in our place, thinking, do I really deserve death? But God says sin does cause death. And finally, that C, that commitment part, is really hard for us. Because at the end of the day, don't we want to be boss? But we have to turn from following ourselves and commit ourselves to Christ. You know, I have some friends, they don't want to get married. They just like dating. Because dating is convenient. You can go out with a person when you feel like it. Whereas marriage requires a commitment through thick and thin. And it's that commitment we're hesitant to make to God. But the only people that get to heaven are those who've committed their life to Christ, not those who've tried to date him as you were. So I want to ask you a question. Do you have that kind of forgiveness I'm talking about tonight? If you don't, it's as simple as the ABCs. You can bow your head, admit you're a sinner, believe Jesus died in your place, call out, confess your sins, and commit your life to him. I want to finish with one final story. It's from a friend of mine named Carl. He lives in Cedarville. I think he's watching the live stream tonight. A couple months ago, Carl was diagnosed with cancer. Unfortunately, they caught it early. And the doctor said there's a treatment, a remedy for your cancer. But if you refuse the remedy, Carl, your cancer will grow and it will kill you. My friend Carl said, I don't want to die. I want the remedy. And so he had surgery 2 weeks ago. Some cancer is more advanced than other cancer, but eventually, if cancer is not dealt with, it will cause death. For you and I, our sins are like that cancer. Unless they're dealt with, they will cause death. But God has offered an awesome remedy at his own expense. I encourage you to accept that remedy this evening. Thank you for your time. Thank you for being here tonight. And thanks to the great entrepreneur in heaven.
Thank you, Dr. Smith. The gospel doesn't just impact only part of our lives as Christians, but it is our life. So thank you for that reminder. We're going to ask the judges to come on back to the stage. But before we announce the winner of the pitch 2025, we have some thank yous to give. So first, we'd like to just thank every single person who was a part in making tonight a possibility. There was so many things that went into this. So first, we'd like to thank Alex and Annie and Simon and Philip and Garrett and Sebastian and his team who put so much time and effort into creating their businesses and pitches tonight. Let's give them a round of applause. And the judges aren't here, but we also are going to thank them, Jim, Scott, and Becky, for taking time away from their busy schedules and providing us with their business expertise and insight. So give them a round of applause.
As they make their way to the stage, let's also give a special thanks to Dr. Heyman and his leadership, Dr. Oberbrunner for his advising, the Q Entrepreneurship Org, and the Plaster School of Business for all of their work to make the Pitch 2025 possible. Thank you also to Dave, Dan, and Jen and Production Services Group. They're the ones who handled all of the different tech aspects of this evening, all the videos, all the miking. It's not an easy job, so let's make sure to thank them as well.
Next, we'd like to thank this year's hosts of the pitch. Oh, wait. Good job, Jaden.
Good job, Lily.
And finally, thank you guys for showing up and making this evening so much fun. So give yourself a round of applause. We'd like to turn it now over to the judges one last time to make any final comments to the contestants.
I will start by saying amazing job. Everybody did, in terms of how your ideas and concepts were presented. If we had to judge on that alone, I think we'd be in a tie 5 ways. So congratulations. It's not easy to do this. Jim and I were talking that we had no idea what was going on when we were your age. So like never would have happened to get up here and do something like this. So congratulations. Good job for putting yourselves out there, sharing your ideas and your vulnerability. And yeah, thank you.
I just want to say this is my 5th pitch competition, and this was the best, and they've progressively gotten better and better and better and better. So that's a testament to the leadership in the business school, in the entrepreneurship program, in Q, the passion, the commitment to see these ideas come to fruition and hear some of these success stories from projects that I got to see stand right there and share their vision and their passion. It's such a blessing to me to be able to be here. So for everybody that was involved, from the tech people to the hosts and even everybody who came out and took the time to be here, thank you, because this really was awesome.
Just so much gratitude and humility that you would allow me to be a part of this. It's a little awkward to think of. Most of the time, I don't think of, any entrepreneur doesn't think of themselves as successful because we just think about the mistakes. We think about all the things we do differently, all the things that we can improve, but we're just in awe of where you're starting. I can't imagine if I would have had this kind of opportunity when I started, the road would have been a little less bumpy. Cedarville is a really special experience. You need to soak it up. You really need to soak it up. Cedarville's special. And there's no big mystery why, right? We're all bound together by a secret weapon, the Holy Spirit. That's your still small voice. Trust in Him with everything you've got. Entrepreneurship is just a way to make a living, but use it to impact other people's lives, right? But thank you for having me be a part of this. It's really humbling and a ton of fun, and I get to hang out with smart people, so.
So good. Yeah. Thank you guys for your wisdom. And now, for the part that you've all been waiting for, we're going to announce the winners of this evening for the Pitch 2025. So, thank you, Will. In 3rd place, with a prize of $250, we have, drumroll please, we have the company Breakroom Boosters with Annie Alexander. Annie, come on up.
Congrats, Annie. And in 2nd place for $500, we have Sebastian Toledo and the Cube Dojo team. Come on up.
And in 1st place, for the $1,000 reward towards their own business, let's welcome, with a warm welcome, Skin Safe and Alex Simmons with the #1 prize. Congratulations, Alex. That is quite the achievement. Very, very proud of you and all of your hard work. All right, well, hey, thank you all so much for being here. It's been an absolute blessing. Feel free to come get pictures. And once again, congrats to Alex and the rest of everyone involved in the Pitch 2025.
Have a good night.
You're dismissed.